Welcome back. God damn it.
This is a professional podcast. I need both of you to pull your fucking selves together and act like it.
Never.
Welcome back. And this week, Chuck Norris. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies,
Worst
People. Welcome back. And my intro wasn't just me being random. By the way, this is what we're talking about. It's on the screen here.
Chuck Norris.
It's our Schlock Load episode for March, Invasion USA with Chucky Norris. But he's kind of Jason Voorhees in this movie, and that's why I did my intro.
Okay. We've talked about before how, like, I kind of grew up watching Chuck Norris movies, and then we watched them as adults. I did not like them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get the hype about Chuck Norris movies. This one brings it back. And it's not because of him, but this movie is why people like Chuck Norris movies.
Yeah. No, he's fucking terrible.
He's terrible. And like, yes, he's doing the Jason Voorhees thing, so it works. I'm just a cold, calculated killer named Hunter. It's time to die.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Dude,
Well-
talk about Chekhov's disappearing act.
And that's what I mean. I don't just mean like his blandness of being Jason Voorhees. I mean,
Right.
like, he just appears where people are. And like, I mean, we'll get to it, but that final fight scene with him and Richard Lynch, it's just like,
Okay,
he's there and then he's gone.
Yeah.
there's something I'd like to ask before we get started, so I know if I'm being an asshole or not.
Can I answer it?
Yeah.
Okay, ask it.
Was this dude in the fire?
Yes, because I asked the same question.
Okay.
And what happened was he had a really bad LSD trip and set himself on fire back in the 60s.
Oh,
And
man.
then after massive reconstructive surgery, he finally felt good enough to be coming back on screen.
Well,
So he
I
was
mean,
an
I'm
actor.
glad I didn't make a joke because I was going to say something terrible along the lines of, is he doing a Fire Marshal Bill movie?
Yeah, same.
But I'm not going to say that.
So I think he was a stage actor before the fire.
I think
And then,
like
because
the
from what I read an
theater-
article about it, and from what I saw in that, his first movie acting role was in the 70s, and the fire was in
Okay.
like 1967. But he was a stage actor before that.
Okay.
But that guy, Richard Lynch, has been on the podcast before.
Yes.
Not with either of you guys, but Whitney knows about it because she's watched it with me. He's in Savage Dawn with Lance Henriksen and William Forsythe.
Because I
Okay.
remembered asking him that question, and he told me that then, but he forgot, and so he had to look it up again, and then now I remembered it.
Yeah, and I got the whole story this time.
Because I at first I was like, oh, this guy looks like he was in a fire. And then like the next scene, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, no, he looks like he was in a fire.
Like his whole neck right here
Uh-huh.
has
And it's
all
like
of it.
lack of lips. And I'm not trying to be a dickhead, like, but there's a look. And I feel a lot better that he burnt himself instead of something tragic like saving puppies in an orphanage or something.
Yes.
At least it was just a bad LSD trip. Or
Hey,
good
you
one.
know what? You know what? He still didn't go against LSD. He appeared in a documentary with Timothy Leary like a couple years after the surgery.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But he has that. We'll just talk about him real quick because we're talking about him. So Richard Lynch, he's playing Rostov in this movie, Mikhail Rostov. Unless you're
Mikhail.
watching the German version, in which he's playing Michael Hames, an American terrorist. Because obviously they're redubbing it, so they don't give him a Russian accent and everything. But it was still during, the two sides of Germany, and
Oh, okay.
half of it had certain relations with Russia, and so they just made him American.
Oh, that
Look
makes
at
sense.
America killing themselves. Although I'm curious to watch that version and find out what they say when he says America hasn't been invaded by a
And their
foreign
own-
nation.
Since 1812.
And well, he said almost 200 years. And I mean, I'm sure he's talking about the Revolutionary War, not whatever you're talking about.
1812. When
Is
the
that
British
War of
came,
1812?
yeah, the British came
Oh,
back
okay.
to fuck around and find out. But before they found out, they took our capital and they burnt our White House. That's why it's white
Okay, well, this movie was written
painted over the
by
soot.
This movie was written by Chuck Norris himself and a guy named James Brunner, so I'm not surprised they don't know about the War of 1812.
Yeah, that was the last time we had a foreign occupation on our soil.
Because he said 200 years, and this is 85, so I'm going to assume he's talking about, like, you know, when we were fighting.
Is he talking about the Civil War?
I don't even know what he's talking about, honestly, because they didn't invade during the Revolutionary War either. They were
Yeah.
already here.
Yeah.
We were leaving them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's speaking for the Native American people that were here.
Ah, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Dude, I'm
We're
gonna
the
tell you-
foreign invaders.
Always have been. I'm going to tell you something about this movie that really works for me that's abnormal for a lot of these hero movies. Chuck Norris never has a problem in this movie. He is the boogeyman. Normally, you have a hero who's good against the henchmen, but like the main bad guy always gets his goat. You know what I mean? And he needs that one thing, whether it be the hero's journey to find it himself or a magical fucking sword. Usually they need something to get him through. And Chuck Norris is just like, nope, I'm activated. You killed my Native American friend, and now I will kill each one of you in a really fun way with no emotion whatsoever.
There's one part where he's really upset. He's like, everyone I take out, hundreds more pop up.
He's
And-
he's upset about kids dying.
Yeah,
Not about
yeah.
So
anything.
there's that.
It's so
There's an
I
emotion.
watched an interview with Joseph Zito, who, by the way, is the director, and we have discussed before. Joseph Zito directed Missing in Action,
Oh,
So we've-
okay.
Shocker.
and we'll be talking about him again because he also directed Friday the 13th, the final chapter, which turned out not to be the final chapter,
Weird.
and he directed Red Scorpion.
Oh, is that Dolph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
Dolph? Yeah.
Yeah,
it
because
is
we
Dolph.
always confuse that with Red Heat, which is Arnie.
Yeah. Yeah. But this is also the last time that Chuck Norris and Joseph Zito worked together. I have a story about that, but
Well, go out with
the
a bang,
interview-
dude. It's the swan song.
The interview I saw with Joseph Zito, he said differently from this, but what I read online was that Cannon basically went into the editing room and was like, get rid of all this story stuff, all this background, all these character things. Just focus on Chucky Norr and explosions.
Yeah. Kudos to whoever said that, right?
Yeah, that might address though what you're talking about how he didn't have a hero's journey. He didn't have the beginning of this movie is like, let's get him back into the action. The middle of this movie is Jason
Action.
Voorhees blowing people up, and then that's also the end of this movie
Yeah. Dude, when
with
this movie-
a small scale like war.
So we
When
have
this-
a first act and a final act.
Yeah. No, we have a prologue and then the act. That's it. No, when this movie got over, I text our group chat. I was like, that's how you fucking end a movie.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah, it's fucking great.
This
It's
might
just
be a
like,
better
well,
ending than The Fly.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, because there's nothing like it's just like, boom, end.
He doesn't get the girl.
He doesn't have like a line. He has the line right before the final explosion,
Uh-huh.
but not a line after.
I love this chick, by the way. No, like just
McGuire.
yeah, dude, her use, I have some written down over here. Her use of names, like she's calling people. She's like, this bozo over here's been holding me forever. Hey, cowboy, listen up, shithead. Hey, dingus. This flyboy over here's been up my goat.
Well, that actually ties into what I had, the other story I had about Chucky Norr and
Ooh.
Joseph Zito. Chuck Norris was pushing for Whoopi Goldberg to play the reporter. And
I don't like that.
Both of
I
you
don't
look like you
hate
didn't
it
like it.
though. I'm playing
like
it in my
it.
I'm playing it in my head. Imagine her
No.
saying these bozos have been keeping me here.
I could hear her saying, "Hey, cowboy."
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
cowboy.
It would
And it's
sound
not-
more derogatory coming from Whoopi Goldberg than
It
it would
would.
from this girl.
And it's not a sexual relationship, really. I mean, there's barely flirting when he's like, maybe I'll see you around. Wink.
He's
I can't
Ugh,
wink, so I'll
I
just
don't
say
know.
wink. Wink.
he doesn't wink, his beard does. I'm just gonna But apparently like Joseph Zito overruled him, and so he's like, okay, cool, that's fine. I just won't work with you anymore.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I mean,
he's
it's
petty.
I think it's
not like you.
perfect. So am I. I think it's a perfect minor actor to do a minor role. You know what I mean? She's there. She didn't need to add a whole bunch. We are here for squibs, dummies,
Yes.
blow ups, fucking car pranks. Like don't fucking give me movie love.
What is one of your favorite
Least favorite tropes, dude. It's like, hey, I'm a guy.
Instant love.
you're a girl. We've been in this
I love
movie
it.
for about 20 minutes of real time. Let's get married.
Let's get married.
But a little bit, one more background thing on who wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
So the writer, James Brunner, wrote some other Chuck Norris movies like Missing in Action and Delta Force. But credit for the story goes to Aaron Norris,
Yeah,
who
I
you
saw
guys
that.
might remember as the director of Sidekicks.
Yep.
And his brother.
And and I mean, Aaron Norris also wrote the story or script for Braddock Missing in Action 3, Top Dog, Sons of Thunder, which is apparently a 1999 Chuck Norris TV show that didn't go anywhere, and
Top Dog
Walker,
is
Texas Ranger.
Is Top Dog the one where Chuck Norris has a dog
Yes,
as a cop? Yeah.
Yes, where Chuck Norris is hanging out with a dog.
I wouldn't go
It's
too
his-
far.
It's his own version of
Rin Tin Tin?
K9.
Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Insert
And
here.
just based on the things that he does working for Canon, I'm sure it came out about 1 year after K9.
Uh-huh.
I didn't look at the years.
Okay.
Because this movie came out 1 year after. You got to guess?
Red Dawn?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense.
Canon
So
was
it's-
like, dude, I like that.
This is what I wanted to ask you. Whitney, I have not looked this up. Do you want to play the budget box office game?
I have not either.
Okay, good.
I know it.
Of course.
So it's canon, which makes me want to say they made it for $5, but I don't think that's right. I'm going to
How
say
much
the
did they make it for?
budget is $10 million.
Wife?
15.
You guys are splitting the difference, but Jack was originally right. The budget was 10 million. And then Menheim Golan, I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, saw some of the dailies of what Joseph Zito was doing, called him, and was like, I'm giving you $2 million more because this is fucking awesome. So it was 12 million
Okay.
in the end.
And box office, I'm going to go ahead and say 12 million.
5.
17.5.
Hey,
Ooh,
together.
profit.
Yeah, I mean, with Canon, I mean, I don't think they're, we usually we're like, well, with promotion and this
They
and that,
are.
I don't think they're promoting a lot.
They got a trailer.
They
Yeah.
put trailers on their own VHS tapes of their other movies, which
Uh-huh.
is free.
Smart.
But it may not have made a lot of money in theaters until 2007, and I meant to look up what took its place, but I forgot to. Until 2007, this was MGM's second highest selling home video behind Gone with the Wind.
Ooh.
Well then.
Damn, I can
So-
see why. I mean, this is a popcorn flick. Pop it in, turn your brain off, have a good time.
Yeah. I just love that MGM's top 2 selling home videos were Gone with the Wind and Invasion USA.
As if Chuck Norris could be mentioned in the same whisper as that fucking movie. That's
Hey,
too awesome.
You guys want to guess how many people died in this movie? Not for real.
Ooh.
127.
240.
Whitney, you were so close.
Ugh.
129.
Wow.
Damn.
Now, how many did Chuck Norris kill on screen?
100.
11.
30.
Mm.
I mean, there were a few carfuls of people, so
That's what I was trying to do. I was like, well, we only see him like kind of pull up that Uzi on a couple people, but then it's like, no, he puts the bomb on the thing and he drops the bomb down the other thing. And
But real quick, you mentioned pulling out his Uzi. I've got
Uh-huh.
a question for you.
uh-huh.
What the fuck is the point of this?
So you can let them go and grab something else and they're still there. They're technically holstered.
Absolutely.
It looks so silly.
I love it.
I disagree. I fully disagree, dude. These are slings and I love them. Whitney's 100% right because you can drop one and, punch somebody if you want to, or start a car or eat a snack. And then it's right there instead of, oh, wait, I want to get a fruit roll up. Let me put this away. Oh, great. Now
I'm
my
gonna
hands
put
are
it
all
under my
sticky.
arm.
I just love that you're like, you can put down one and get a snack.
Yeah.
Like, wait, so you're still just holding the other Uzi
Yeah.
out?
Hey, guess what would have fucking helped out John Travolta when he was taking a shit in Pulp Fiction?
If he had
Fair.
a slinging Uzi.
Our movie starts with some Cuban refugees, presumably, coming over on a ship. And Whitney was like, did they really just stick these people on a ship for like a week? Because they look like they've been
Haggard.
out there.
Yeah. They're method supporting actors.
The Coast Guard comes to the rescue. Look, Americans. And we have Richard Lynch as the captain. And that smile says you're going to survive more
Yeah.
than 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, if that smile says "Welcome to America," I'm like, we got to go anywhere else. I don't care where we just came from. This is not the land of for us.
Bienvenidos, de todos states.
And I
Whatever
think
he
Something
said.
like that.
I think we're getting a look at our current nation's new foreign policy.
I think. Ooh.
Yeah,
Because
it's
man,
not far off.
they mow them down and just decimate women, children, and everybody.
Everybody.
And Richard Lynch, we talked a little bit about, but he's in a bunch of other movies. As I said, Savage Dawn. Some of the ones I recognized: God Told Me to, Death Sport, The Sword and the Sorcerer. He was in the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 and Lords of Salem. But he passed away in 2012.
I don't
Rest in
think I've
Pictures,
seen
buddy.
Rest in Pictures. I don't think I've seen any of his movies that you just said.
No, but it's kind of surprising because like Rob Zombie liked to bring back his favorite B movie actors. You know, he had Karen
Sure.
Black and he had Sid Haig and Bill Moseley and all those guys. But like, I'm surprised because a lot of the stuff Richard Lynch did wasn't necessarily horror. It was a lot of stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, cool. Rob Zombie watched something besides horror.
He's got a face for espionage.
I mean, he
does.
does do horror. He also was in a movie that I took note of because we need to watch it. Maybe not for the show, but we need to watch it. It's called Stunts. And it's about a stunt driver whose brother is also a stunt driver and is killed in an accident, and he has to investigate. And as I was looking it up, the trailer was playing at the top of IMDb, and it was just car crash after car crash. And I was like, all right.
All right, we'll watch that and Stunt Rock.
I have Stunt Rock on Blu-ray.
Of course you do.
But yes, Bienvenidos, Estados Unidos, or whatever he says.
She said it better.
That's actually what the name of the movie was going to be.
Is that a for realsies?
It is a for realsies because I was like, was it supposed to be called It's a Time to Die? Because they say it 5
Yeah.
different times.
Did you really?
I looked it up. Yes.
Bienvenidos, Estados Unitados.
Let Whitney
something
say it.
that, yeah.
Well, I think he says it wrong, so I'm trying to say it what he said.
Okay.
Remember, this is written by Chuck Norris. Well, okay, he is a Carlos,
Yeah.
but I think he abandoned that heritage.
Oh yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, Blammo kills all these people. We also meet his right-hand man, Nico, played by a guy named Alexander Zale, who plays a doctor in Showgirls.
Ooh.
And I didn't
You
recognize.
watched that more recently than I have. So
I didn't recognize anything else though. So
Yeah, not familiar to me. I don't watch Showgirls nearly as often as you do.
I've only watched it twice in the last 2 years.
Jesus Christ. That's 2 more times
bad.
than me.
That's not bad. Female bleep will say that it's not enough.
Mrs. Bleep.
Yeah.
But they're killing these people.
Bleep.
They're killing these people because there's a bunch of drugs hidden here, and you think, oh, it's going to be a drug movie. It's not a drug movie,
No, it's not. It's not a drug movie.
but the drugs are kind of important.
Yeah.
For part of it.
I thought we were also going to get a backstory, and I know you said that was cut, and I think that's a good call. But like, I kept waiting for a backstory of Chuck Norris and Rostov working together, like it became a double agent.
Well, we got a little bit of backstory on that because we got Rostov's nightmare.
The tiniest.
You know, or he's talking. Adams is talking to Chuck Norris about coming back to the fold or
You
whatever.
should've-
He's like, "Yeah, you should have let me kill him." Sorry, you got blanked out by the internet, so I had to.
Oh,
Repeat you.
But yeah, you should have let me kill him. He's your problem now. And then we get that because like he was gonna kill him, and then they're like, "No, you got to bring him in," presumably. But then we cut to Chucky Norris driving on a swamp boat.
this is where my notes start. It just says shirtless fan boat.
I want to do this so bad.
I growing up watching a lot of stuff like this, I thought for sure my life was going to have more to do with fan boats and houses on lakes and rivers.
Let's move to Florida.
No,
Does
God, how
God
dare
know?
you?
How
dare you?
I have been on one of these fan boats. It was for like a tour thing, so it wasn't nearly as exciting because they didn't go this. They did crank up the speed a bit for us, but they couldn't go this fast. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of rules and stuff about that. Now our guys were not following said rules. This was shortly after a dude had been like eaten by an alligator because he was feeding them. You know, they were feeding. They chum the water for these gators,
Yeah.
and this guy like put his arm in, and this thing just fucking pulled him in.
You get what you
so
get.
they were not
Yeah.
supposed to be chumming the water, so they were like, we're not gonna put any meat in the water. And then they opened a cooler and proceeded to throw chicken in the water.
If anybody asks, we did not put any meat in the water.
But I do have a fun story about this fan boat.
Yeah.
Go on.
It was when I was working on a television show, and so I was there with
Flip it
the
and
crew,
flip it.
the crew and the producers and stuff. And one of the producers, everybody was drunk because it was a day off and we were in New Orleans. So,
Well,
well,
you were
I could have
super
just stopped at
hungover,
it was a
weren't you?
day off, but
it was New Orleans.
But we went to go to the tour. Everybody's hungover from the night before, so they start drinking early. We're out there. She's hammered.
Bold maneuver.
She's up walking around on this thing because
Who
we get
is
to the
she?
point where we stop. I don't want to say her name.
Well, what was her position?
She was the producer. I said.
Producer,
A producer, associate producer, I think. But she gets up and she's walking around because we're where we're stopped, and these gators are all around the boat because they've been throwing the meat out there and everything. And she takes a step and kind of like drunk stumbles and like kind of starts to tilt and fall towards the water. Dude, one of these things, not a moment's hesitation, just sits up and opens its fucking maw.
It's like, well,
It's like the croc and hook. It's like
mhm.
Exactly. It was literally it just sat up and it was just like,
Who we found out, according to Derek, is a pirate.
yeah.
Look, he's a pirate, all right?
I don't remember which episode that was, but I was listening back and I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? Fucking pirate crocodiles?
Everybody in Never
If
Never Land is a
anything,
pirate.
I think
they should be investigators.
skeleton crew. I think it was skeleton crew.
Okay.
Investigators. Oh no.
If they're gonna
We
be
just-
anything.
We just started a new cartoon, dude.
Ah.
Copyright, trademark.
Investigators.
Hey, do me a favor, print this onto like a DVD and mail it to me and I won't open it.
There's a couple little scenes with Chuck Norris that pretty much just sets up what he's doing. He's riding a swamp boat. He's gator wrestling, and he's hanging out with this guy John Eagle.
Yeah.
Eagle John.
No, John Eagle.
I thought it was Eagle
Oh,
John.
Played
John
by a guy
Eagle.
named Del
Oh.
Birdie, who the only movie I recognized, I didn't recognize him from it, but I remember his character, is a movie called Wolfen, which was a very good 80s werewolf movie. Low
Huh.
budget, but he plays, not surprisingly, like a Native American guy that knows about the werewolves. So,
Yeah.
you know, most of his other roles I saw looking through were like, native guide and things like that. So.
Yeah. Elder One and what have you.
So that's pretty much what's going on with Chucky Norr. Meanwhile, we meet the FBI, who's cold on the trail of Rostov. We have this guy Cassidy, who's the head of the FBI, played by a guy named Eddie Jones, who also has passed away
Oh.
2019.
Pictures.
Oh man, not too long ago. Yeah, I recognized him from one episode of Cheers, a later episode where he's trying to get Miss Rebecca to quit smoking. So he dumps like a bucket of cigarettes on the table.
He's also in The Rocketeer, Sneakers, and The Terminal.
Oh, I don't recognize him from the Terminal. Rocketeers makes sense. He's probably a journalist.
And the most important thing he's in is Chud. Crickets. Where he
Still
plays, I
haven't
think,
watched it.
the chief of police, I believe. But
We got to get to
yeah.
Chud.
this guy, and we also meet, dude, it is a fucking
If we don't
awesome
watch
movie.
Chud, we're not going to understand half of the shit that he says.
Okay.
Just in general.
Yeah,
In
not
life
on the
or
podcast.
on the podcast.
Life is what I was referring to.
We can do it, and we can play a drinking game when anytime someone yells Bosch, which is the name of the detective, we take a drink and we see who dies before the end of the movie.
I was going to say, are we going to die? This sounds like a die thing.
How about
I counted once, and I want to say it was like 100.
how about we
something.
make it a hydrating game? We
Oh, I
drink
could-
water.
I would die from water.
We might. It might be like when the
Chug a gallon of
fraternities
water.
started like trying to like they were like, look, we're not hazing, we're not using alcohol, we're making them drink water, and then kids were dying anyway.
Mhm.
Turns out just shouldn't haze.
And we also meet
Shocker.
McGuire, who's played
Purple.
by Melissa Prophet, who was in Casino. She played Joe Pesci's wife.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
she got the diamonds in her hair.
Yeah, and she's one of the Italians from Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like the women who are just yelling all the time. And she's in Action Jackson as a newscaster, I believe, also. So we'll talk about that.
So
again.
yeah, we'll see you soon. Oh, it's a newscaster. She got a promotion. Lovely.
From a newspaper reporter, yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
Working for a cooler director in that movie, though.
Who's that director?
That is Craig R. Baxley.
Oh, I know that name.
Dark Angel and
Stone Cold? Stone Cold.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of the two coolest movies we've watched in the past year, but
Not wrong. Not wrong.
But I do like her quick little thing though, because like she was there taking pictures, and they're like, "How'd you get here before the police?" She's like, "Cause I drive faster."
This is where she first starts like, these bozos over here been holding me for an hour now. See, I love it. I want more
She's
nicknames
very
from
pretty.
her. She is. She's no Whoopi.
And we have this boat full of dead people that they stripped down too, which is pretty
So
fucked up.
these are the people. Well, it's because they killed the Coast Guards to take their boat, so they could murder.
Okay.
All
I thought
the
maybe
other
they just
people.
moved all the people off the other boat and threw them in there as like
No.
a message.
No.
Yeah. This is the Coast Guard.
All right.
So
I
they
thought
could
they
have
They
their-
took their uniforms.
Derek's
Yeah.
way is really weird though. It's like, all right, move them onto that boat, but first strip them down.
That's what I thought, and that's why I was like, "All right, guys, whatever you." I mean, I heard this guy burn himself doing acid, so it makes sense. But
You're not just a bad guy. You're a weird guy too, aren't you?
I love that I'm the one that understood.
And then we have Rostov meeting up with this guy Mickey, played by Billy Drago, who you guys might recognize. Whitney does.
I definitely
was
know him
on-
from the Untouchables.
He was uncharmed.
Yeah.
No.
Last time I watched this,
Boo.
like she was there for most of it, I think, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, hey, that's."
He's like a warlock he's like the time
What,
master.
she said his name or whatever he was, and I was like,
He
I don't know
looks-
what that means. She's like, from Charmed, duh.
He
It's
looks
like me
like
talking
he
about Chud.
is in charge or dabbles in time travel, but not for good reasons. Like there's no.
And
Has
he
this guy
wasn't.
ever played a good guy?
No.
No,
'Cause you
he
don't
was
buy
in
it.
the Untouchables. He was in the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. He played Papa Jupiter, so not great there.
I mean, he did
um,
play one episode a good guy and Charmed. He was like a good warlock and then became a bad warlock.
Well, maybe he's just.
Well, when you
faking
see him and they introduce him as a good guy, you're like, well, he's turning bad.
it.
Well, he was previously bad and then was good and then was bad.
Oh,
again.
actually, I forgot. I do have a photo of this guy.
Oh yeah, look at that, dude. Cocaine eyes.
Yeah.
That is a bad guy face if I've ever seen one.
I think I did. I had drug schemes with this guy.
He's not just like undressing you with his eyes. He's sizing up what size ball gag you wear.
Yes.
He's also in a movie I haven't seen, but he's in a movie with Cynthia Rothrock called Lady Dragon 2.
Ooh.
So
Dude, speaking of Cynthia
don't
Rothrock,
laugh.
Derek is so upset. He missed out on something.
Oh yeah. If you guys knew this and didn't tell me, I'm going to be even more upset.
Neither of us knew this.
2
I
years
guarantee you.
ago, like in the fall of 2023, so a little more than a year ago, Cynthia Rothrock, Don the Dragon Wilson, Patrick Kilpatrick, and a few other people whose names you would probably recognize, and then a bunch you wouldn't, made a movie in Mezcal down here at the same set where they filmed Quick and the Dead. It's literally called the Mezcal movie set.
Yeah.
They made a movie there called Black Creek, and there was even a Kickstarter thing for it, and depending on your donation level, you could fucking go to the set and meet everybody. If you donated $800, you could have dinner with Cynthia Rothrock.
Whitney, you guys would not be driving that nice car you are now. I'll tell you that much. Derek would be having dinner with Cynthia Rothrock.
Yeah. Oh, we bought that car in 21, so.
Yeah, we already had it, so I already couldn't afford the $800, but I would have found a way.
Yeah.
Like, I got to move around some funds. Whitney's like, oh, wow, you got motivated to sell off some of your old board games that you're not playing. And I'm like, yeah, no reason.
Derek sells so much plasma. He goes to the dinner just lightheaded. I love it. Movie queen ninja kick. Whoopah! I gotta take a little winker.
I need a banana.
Wake me up with the bananas. Get here. I'll be reinvigorated.
Yeah.
So I'm very upset about it. But
I
that's
would be
not
too
this.
if I was you. I'm not upset about it now.
Mm-mm.
Don the Dragon Wilson was there.
Sure, I'm not having dinner with him.
Patrick
Mostly because he
Kilpatrick
won't
was
return
there.
my calls. I would like to go drinking with Patrick Kilpatrick.
Why can't I picture this fucker? Hold on.
He was in.
Well, he's in Remo Williams that she
yeah,
didn't watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, I don't want to sound needy here.
I'm
or
needy.
anything, but we have a Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople.
Mhm.
and it only costs $3 a month.
$3 a month is nothing.
And I know times are hard right now.
Real hard for me.
Inflation's up.
No.
You can't afford your groceries.
Can't eat.
But you can afford $3 a month if you love us.
Give us $3.
Super love us.
Please
Yeah.
love us.
We're not begging.
I'm begging.
We're not pleading.
I'm pleading.
We're not down on our knees.
Oh boy,
I mean-
my knees hurt. They've been on so long.
But we do kind of need the money.
I need the money bad.
We need new equipment.
New equipment. We need to do remote podcasts for all of you.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need to have video.
I wouldn't mind eating.
We need more drinks.
Food sounds good.
So please check out patreon.com/worstpeople.
Please check us out.
You get a bonus episode every month, and we're going to have more content coming for you.
I'll send you pictures.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Please give me more.
Patreon.com/worstpeople.
I'm being held hostage here. If I don't pay my way out of here, they're going to kill me.
They're there to do a drug deal, kind of.
It's a deal.
Billy Drago is there to do a drug deal.
But why is he
And
act so creepy at the end of it? Like you were asking for it.
I love this whole scene because they clearly don't trust each other. And like Drago, who has that creepy face I just showed you guys, and Lynch, who also has a creepy face,
There's barely a set of lips between them.
are just,
What the fuck?
they are just staring each other down the entire time. Like this guy makes a phone call, he gets up out of his chair, they do not break eye contact the entire time, and I'm
No.
like, something happened.
Yeah.
Somebody hit somebody.
Oh,
It's
this
giving me
scene coming up
anxiety.
though.
Well,
First off, this chick does not know how to snort drugs.
Well, you know what, Whitney? That's an okay thing to be bad at.
they went in her nose. I think she did it.
I mean,
Okay.
if you had a pile like that, I
novice
probably
that.
would.
Oh, if I had
If you
a
had
pile,
a pile.
you motorboat it. Rumsky.
But if she was motorboating it, then we couldn't get this scene where he's like Ivan, or
But-
I said Ivan Drago.
Hold on. It goes from a pile to her snorting it to 3 lines.
Yeah, because she snorted most of the pile and then broke up the.
Oh, did you want some
leftovers.
too? Here, I saved you these 3
She,
little lines.
she
Let me
snorted
check.
it out into 3 lines.
Yeah.
There was no razor blade or
No razor
card
blade involved.
whatsoever.
She sniffed everything around it to form 3 lines.
I
Wow.
can't think of a more efficient way to get 3 lines than sniff around these 3 lines. That's the best
Yeah,
way to do this,
that's the
right?
best way.
Okay. I've thought about it forever and ever because my brain won't stop working.
I'm dead and I'm still thinking about
My
it.
note here, just so I made sure we brought it up, and I thought you would, just says Coke nose. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, we have to talk about this, dude.
Yeah.
This is, it gives me cringe thinking about it. But it's also like Batman, the Joker.
Yeah, it's the pencil. We're gonna make this pencil disappear.
Want to watch me make this Coke straw disappear?
Because yeah, it's like it's been a pleasure working with you and Richard Lynch. The pleasure's all mine. Fucking bats this chick's head down, and that thing goes right up her nose. And there's blood on the table. Like the people making this were paying attention.
Yeah.
And he shoots Billy Drago in the dick, and then
A couple
kicks
times.
this chick or throws this chick out the fucking window.
And leaves the drugs and runs.
He's
He's not there for drugs. He's there
I know.
because
but
we
I
didn't
said that
mention
for a
the phone.
reason.
Yeah, the phone call was there's people somewhere else that are exchanging the money once he has the drugs.
Right.
kind of
No, it's
thing.
not money. It was weapons.
Oh,
this
weapons.
guy
Okay.
was giving him, because that's why he's on the phone. He's like, all right, the Coke is here. Cool. Get the greaseball on the phone. Greaseball is Nico. Like, I'm not calling him that. But this guy was using that term.
Crazy ass.
And yeah, he's like, all right, cool. They have this stuff. We have this stuff. Cool. We're good. That's when and then, yeah, he uses a woman to break his fall out of the window.
And
Well,
then
and I love that desk clerk. Yeah, he
That's-
goes back in. He's like, "What the fuck happened here? Look at all these dead people. Look at that large bag of." Well,
Huh.
speaking of nobody's looking,
Mark, we're retiring.
I don't want to work here anymore. Bag of drugs.
And it's not just like that gallon Ziploc bag. Like there's a
There's a doctor's bag.
Yeah,
there.
doctor's.
What
Doctor's
else did we
totes,
just
if
see
you
that had a
will.
giant ass bag of Coke that we were talking about? Was it Nothing But Trouble?
Is
Yes.
It? Yes.
Yeah, where
Daniel
it is like,
Daniel
Baldwin's
Baldwin.
cocaine.
dude, that is like those roadside bags
money bag.
that are full of sand. It's that much cocaine.
And then we have this guy Adams who's sneaking into Chuck Norris's house, which is probably not a good idea. Adams, played by Martin Shakar. Only thing I know him from is Saturday Night Fever.
I got
He's
nothing.
one of the friends, but
Thank you, by the way, for not putting up a picture of Nothing But Trouble when I said it. So, thank you for moving on.
I erased it off of the thing so I could make room for today's pictures.
This is the best
I know
movie
you
ever.
brought it
Ben.
up, and I was like, "Oh, Jack."
I would rather see that. That's like that. I think that's what Cobra Commander looks like under that mask.
You know what I didn't erase?
Why would you ever erase that?
But so yeah, he sneaks into Chuck Norris's house.
Bad
Of
idea.
course, Chuck Norris gets the drop on him, and he's like, "Hey, the company needs you back." It's what we talked about earlier. He's like, "Well, you guys lost your chance. It's your fucking problem now."
Yep.
But he's got this cute fucking armadillo as a pet.
In the note, armadillo pet for the win, dude. Armadillo pet for the fucking
the
win. This thing
scritches
is
on the
so cute.
Yeah,
Dumping
like,
its little bowl of milk over.
yeah, and it's sitting here like scratching around, trying to like a dog or a cat. Like I didn't know they did that too.
Yeah.
It's like scritch, scritch, scritch. I'm gonna lay here now.
I
This
just-
thing is fucking adorable. A little bit derpy, and I want one.
Oh, I definitely want one. Very
I want
derpy.
That thing falling off the stairs later, so you know it's not dead.
Could you
I just had
imagine
a-
Candy playing with him?
I just roll into a ball anytime she comes around.
She's just kicking the ball around.
Shaggy would probably hurt him.
I had a thought just now though about how this is kind of how Vin Diesel and all them play the like, especially Vin Diesel plays these Fast and Furious movies where it's like you can't get over on him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, all right, I'm gonna sneak into his house. I saw you sneaking. All right, I'm gonna get in his trunk. I was already in my trunk. Like, it just you can't get one over on him, dude.
I want that. Someone's like, I'm getting in his trunk, and they open it, and he's just laying there.
You can do it, and we can call it Fast and Furious
Yeah, the
Oh.
fast and the furriest.
because he is the furriest, and then he can do Furry Road.
But we get that flashback we were talking about with Rostov gonna shoot a fucking rocket launcher into this house to take out this ambassador, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And I thought for a second he was going to take out one of the guards with it because he's waiting. I'm like, dude, if you fucking face this guy with a rocket, that's going to be awesome.
He's trying to line it all up so both the guards are like this, and then the ambassador's all behind him. And it's just
And Whitney was saying that she thought that this was the same house from
MIA?
Missing in Action, the mansion that he's like sneaking in and out of.
when he crawls up the wall.
Oh, that easily could be.
And I think I'm pulling it up here real quick. This was filmed in Georgia and Florida, and that was filmed in the Philippines. But I think in the interview,
And it is canon.
Exactly.
no, okay, in the interview, Joseph Zito had mentioned the Philippines, but none of this was filmed in the Philippines.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not, but it's very similar. I mean, a southern plantation. When he wakes up from the dream, he's like, "Dude, I can't do this with Chucky Norris running around out there.
Yeah.
So we have to kill him." And
Yeah, we gotta kill
Nico's
the
like,
cowboy.
"Dude, no fucking way. We can't. We have a plan." You know?
yeah.
If he would have just stuck to the plan, everything would have been fine.
Nah, he still would have come getting you.
No, because he said it's your problem, not
He
mine.
didn't care
But he
until they
didn't stick
killed
to
the-
the plan, and he went after him
Yeah.
and killed his buddy. So guess what? Now I'm on your ass.
I know.
'Cause
I know.
he wouldn't have heard about any of this. He lived in the fucking middle of the swamp.
Oh,
He didn't have
bullshit.
TV.
He would have eventually heard about all these. As soon as he found out about the kids dying, it would have gone on for a while. But the second that he would have found out about the kids dying, he would like, well, now it's my problem. Sorry. Now it's my problem.
Dude, he is so. We make fun of Chris O'Donnell for being a
cardboard.
cardboard actor.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell is an Oscar-winning actor. He's Daniel Day-Lewis compared to Chuck
Oh,
Norris.
easy now. Easy now. We shouldn't put those two in the same breath.
Just compared to Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris, he doesn't even have an expression. I know he's trying to do a cool guy thing, but the whole thing is just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Like-
get them. They shouldn't have killed those kids.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have did that. He's just a boy.
The part where he's getting to his truck after
It's okay,
we're
Walker
getting
told me
to
I
the
had
scene. Walker told me I have AIDS.
I
He's-
thought about starting this with that, by the way.
He just looks at the camera and it's supposed to be like lament, like just memorable, you know, like,
Yeah.
and none of it works. He's not a facial actor.
No.
But Nico has the line where you know exactly how this movie's going to go as soon as you go into it. But Nico has the line that lets you know for sure, because he's like, he's one man alone. What could he do?
Couldn't possibly get any worse.
Guess what happens?
So Rostov and his goons go and assault
Rostov
Chuck
and
Norris.
2 smoking barrels.
Yes.
They assault Chuck Norris's house.
They assort it. All right, you put the china cabinet over here. It's going to be so great. It's really going to tie the room together, and it's going to throw them off. All right, the ottoman's trash. We need to move that out somewhere. I know. I'll figure out a place for you to put your feet, but it's not going to be that trash ottoman. It doesn't go with anything.
I also said they assaulted his house. It's barely a shack.
It's a
Uncle Duvet's house in Hard Target was a mansion compared to this thing.
Oh boy, good old fan
he
boat
doesn't
like a
need
jackrabbit. He needs a fan boat and a couple of friends
That's it.
and his armadillo.
But John Eagle pulls up right as these guys are about to do their attack. He sees them and warns Chucky Norris just in time, so he dives out the window. And John Eagle gets got.
I want to say though, he did the best he could with a double barrel shotgun and killed one and winged the other one, and then he's out of bullets.
Oh yeah, his hand.
Yeah, because he shoots that guy Tomas in the hand, because we see that later. That guy's still running around.
Oh yeah.
And don't worry, folks. Like I said, they blow the fuck out of this house. By the way,
Yeah.
like it goes sky high, but the armadillo is okay.
They show you.
I definitely thought about that. I was like, oh, Whitney's not going to be happy if we don't see that armadillo. and here it comes just down the stairs, struggling to get down the stairs too. I was like, oh,
lands on his
I know
face.
it's because it has short legs, but this is what made me say it was a little derpy, because it's like reaching its paw down and it just like tumbles over, and it's like, well, that's fine.
I think I want to name him Dick. Dick Armadillo. Like Dick Army.
Dick Armadillo.
Dick
Careful,
Armadillo.
he might sexually assault someone.
Oh, he's just gonna chain me to a radiator, not let me leave. We call that a Saturday.
And we have the beginning of the assault. We've got this couple. They're fucking on the beach, and this flare goes up. And first of all, if I'm on the beach making out with a chick and she's like, "Let's go have sex on this blanket," first of all, no. But also, if I'm in this situation and I'm this guy, a flare goes up, I'm not gonna be like, "Huh, what was that?" I'm gonna be like, "Weird nipples, cool, got it."
Maybe they thought that somebody was celebrating him. You know, anytime you're doing really good.
This is the beginning of the assault. We have these World War II transports coming up on the beach. So Nico is there hiding in the reeds. He comes out and just fucking caps these two. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he does.
And I do like that he starts watching fucking Carson or whatever they were watching on TV and laughing.
I feel like he has a de-silencer on his gun, because like, it looks like a silencer, but it's the loudest boom I've heard from a gun today.
It's like in A Scanner Darkly when Robert Downey Jr. is trying to make a homemade silencer. Have you seen that? There's a part where you make a homemade silencer and then he shoots it and it just boom. But I mean, these soldier transports are authentic, like World War II ones. Joseph Zito said in the interview that they got these from some military collector guy. So these were like real used World War II.
Oh, that's awesome.
Things.
Yeah, they looked at. Imagine coming out of one of these into the fucking beaches of Normandy and just getting mowed down.
That's what happens here without the mowing down part, though.
Yeah.
We have thousands of people running out of these fucking carriers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it wasn't this scene, but Joseph Zito did mention also in the interview that later on during the big battle, there were 1,600 extras.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of extras.
He said everybody in this film was meant to be in the film, from the mall to the streets to everybody was an extra.
Yeah, I read but no like people in the background like that are really like, they'll do that, especially low budget stuff like Canon. Because like that neighborhood is abandoned, the mall was abandoned, so they had to fill it with people. And I read online that apparently their Canon's report, their budget report for this or whatever it was, said that they had a total of 10,000 extras. I'm wondering what guy was like, yeah, I'll be in this, and then he came back with a fake mustache. Yes, I will do your movie.
Well, something I just learned about A New Hope that I wish I would have known for the Han Took Shots First podcast, where we discussed episode 4.
Which podcast is that?
Han Took Shots First podcast, where we discussed this beautiful fucking wonderment to society.
Han Took Shots First. It's up there in the corner.
So in the very beginning, when Vader storms the tentative 4, all the guys that he kills, they like all the extras laying there start hiding their they're in a position to hide their faces. It's so you can come back for another scene.
Yeah.
Like it's something that a lot of extra workers have done. Like it's if you can't recognize their face, you can be put in another scene. So
That makes sense.
If you see people like a bunch of people with their hands over their face or face down, it might be that reason.
More work.
Yep.
They want to get paid more than one day.
Yeah.
This is where we find out that it's definitely Christmas. When there was a moment when Rostov and Nico were at like a beachside cafe, and there was like a Spanish version of Rudolph
Jingle
the Red
Bells.
Nose or Jingle Bells playing in the background. And Whitney was like, "Is this a Christmas movie?" And I was like, "Who knows? It's Florida."
And then it is at right after.
Yeah, because right here they're all these people are putting up lights in this
I wanna
idyllic
put
little
the star on the
neighborhood.
tree.
Yeah, this family is arguing about putting the star on the tree, which isn't a star, you stupid little kid.
It's not even close to a star, you dumb
No,
baby.
it looks like the top of the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Speaking of Russia.
Or St. Peter's Cathedral. That's
But, like-
the one that most people know.
Well, Rostov and Nico show up in this nice little neighborhood, and they're like, "Man, these people sure make it easy." And they just fucking light these houses up with
There's
rocket
two
launchers.
kids making out. Well, there's 2 teenagers making out in a car with 5 kids playing ball around that said car.
Yeah.
Like, I
Dude,
don't get that.
we don't see him reload this rocket launcher. I think
Ever.
this is the first multi-firing rocket launcher.
No, he's got a bunch already loaded down in the car.
But we
down in the
see him
van.
like shoot, turn, and shoot. I'm pretty sure. Like I was just like, damn, this is. I need to get me one of these. Where does he get
But-
these wonderful toys?
But I think I mentioned it when I was promoting this on one of the other episodes. But this is a real neighborhood. These are real houses, and they are really being exploded.
I can't believe they were abandoned. They're beautiful houses.
Well, they weren't abandoned.
were.
I think they were
Bought?
eminent domained.
Oh.
They got kicked out because this neighborhood was scheduled for demolition to build a new runway for the Hartsfield Airport. So Cannon
we'll
got
blow it up.
permission.
We'll blow it
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
We got you. Did you say you need it blown up? Because I know a guy.
And apparently this
We
is
like
now
to blow shit up.
You ever heard of Chuck Norris?
this is currently the location of the Georgia International Convention Center. So that runway didn't even last.
Huh.
They fucking blow these houses up, and it is glorious. And of course, the first one they do is where we just saw these cute little kids. The little girl like snuck out and put the star on the tree, and she's all happy, and they're having a family dinner. Boom,
Woo. Dude.
Family annihilated.
Yeah.
Nope, she survives.
Well, she's gonna have a lot of therapy, and maybe she'll kill herself in like 10
Yeah,
years.
a neighbor
'cause she has
runs and
survivor's
picks her up.
guilt.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool that you really blew up a neighborhood. I like it.
Yeah, and we're not gonna go through each action scene because there's a lot of it.
Basically what they're doing is all these people they brought in, because I was thinking, because I just recently watched this, but I kind of forgot how it starts here. I was thinking like, force isn't going to be anything against the military, but that's not what they're doing.
No.
They're forming little cells and they're going around and doing stuff to make Americans mad at other Americans. Like this next one, they go to this party. There's like Cubans hanging out having this party.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, our reporter McGuire is there.
She's Cuban. She knows good food.
McGuire sounds pretty Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
She knows good food.
and we also have Michael Carmine here from Leviathan. He was De Jesus.
Oh,
yeah, he's the one
Yeah.
talking
Jesus.
shit to the cops.
Yeah, he's
With the
the
hickeys
one
on his neck.
introducing. He's the one who gets shot first. Yeah, you're right. These cops show up and they get out and they're like, "Are you guys gonna fuck with us like you did last time?" And these cops are just like, "Not exactly like last time."
No, a little different than last time. Have you ever heard of an escalation?
And this is where we see what their real plan is, because they shoot all these people and drive away, and then the real cops show up. And all these people get pissed. They're like, "Oh shit, they're back!" And they start throwing bricks and rocks at the real cops.
Well, Keo or whatever his name is says he wants witnesses. Don't kill them all.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but that's what. But also, it's this like, so these cops show up now. These people are like, "Oh, the cops shot our friends."
Yep.
Because we
And-
didn't talk
and-
about when they were having their beach lunch around shirtless people, which, by the way, eating shirtless, that should be reserved for drunk people at home, not out at a restaurant. He says, he's like, these American people are so free. It's their freedom that's going to be their undoing.
Yeah.
Which, it's a cool line, but doesn't really make sense to what he's doing. But yeah, he's just trying to tiny cells doing all these little sting operations, much like the rebels in episode 4.
Our FBI agent later on says like that basically they're turning Americans against other Americans, but more importantly, against authority.
Yeah.
I laughed. Well, you know what's worse? Against authority. Ugh. I can handle people killing other people, but disobeying the law? How dare you?
And then we get the perfect snapshot of what Reagan wanted people to think America looked like in urban neighborhoods, because we have Chuck Norris driving through urban decay.
Hookers saying, "Fuck you! What the fuck you looking at?"
Yeah, there's hookers that are talking shit to a dude alone in a truck. Bad hooker, by the way.
Yeah.
And then of course there's black people who are exclusively dressed like pimps and gangsters.
Yep.
There's poor white people who are bikers, and everybody's just screaming at Chuck Norris for no reason other than he's white. But then we also include white people, so I don't know what,
because he doesn't belong there.
I don't. It's that idealized like right wing. Like, look how bad America is if you're in these city places, these urban places.
It's
That's what it is.
Big. It's New York in the movie Big.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
same thing where it's just gunshots and shouting and.
But yeah, so he goes to this Gil's bar, which is so scummy that even I wouldn't hang out there. This place is slime. This place is dirty.
I would be there.
I was wondering earlier. I was like, man, have I ever seen Chuck Norris in a movie that shows tits? Like, I couldn't think of one because he's, pretty like
family.
Yeah, he wants to keep that clean cut, wholesome. But then this, in this scene, rather, walking like, oh, there they are. Oh, there they are. Oh, there they are. Okay, that girl's pouring beer off her tits. Okay.
Yep. And I do like when he goes in there and this guy confronts him and he's like, "You don't belong here. I don't know you." He's like, "Hey, that makes two of us."
I don't know you either.
You're putting way too much fun on it, though.
Sorry. That makes us even. I don't know you either. Crush bottle. Goodbye.
Man, we give a lot of shit to Mork Norris from Whitney's Miami Connection, but he's not too far off.
No, but you know what? Mork Norris was putting inflection on words. It's the wrong inflection.
It was bad, but he's
putting it on.
There was effort.
I don't know what she's doing here.
What she's doing here. How do you
he
not
meets
like
with this guy?
movie?
Like he's basically trying to hunt down Rostov when this guy Tomas, who's played by a guy named Alex Colon, who also is dead, 1995.
Oh wow.
Who was in Deep Cover and Red Scorpion, are the two movies I recognized from him. Basically, this guy shows up, and there's these two bodybuilders. There's this bodybuilder and this other tall guy.
There's a thyroid and a tall guy in a tank top.
And
Dude, he's like, a balloon animal.
I just like they're washing their cars though, and Tomas hits the bucket, knocks it over, and now they're like, "I'm gonna kill him for this."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because there was words exchanged too.
It's a shortened version of Chekhov's gun though, because it's like you piss these guys off who were cleaning their fancy car. We're not waiting till the third act. We're getting about 4 minutes
right now.
We're gonna blow this fucking car up.
Look how clean it was, though.
Somehow, and this is another Jason Voorhees moment, because somehow Chuck Norris knew that this guy was coming to this place to get this hooker and go to this room.
So we do know that he talked at the other bar, the Scuzzy bar. He did meet his contact, or we don't know because we don't have backstory. His buddy, who's like, "Hey, you're into all this seedy shit, you know?" And he's like, "All right, there's some new customers at this bar. Can't remember the name." He's like, "There's new people that I've seen there. Might be Rostov's guys." But then besides that, he doesn't know what hooker, what room, yada yada.
Yeah, because they go up. The guy takes this hooker upstairs, and Chucky Norris is waiting in the room.
All right,
He's
I
in
got
the
it.
closet.
I got it.
Tunnels.
Exactly. Tunnels between the fucking closets, Derek. It's a Jason Voorhees moment.
It's like the people under the stairs, right? He's in the walls. But yeah, he stabs this dude in his bad hand and questions him, and the guy gives up some information.
Not my strong hand.
And then he leaves him stabbed, and he just hands him a grenade with no pin in it, and he's like, "See you later."
If you survive this, tell Rostov it's time to die.
That's like the
That's
fourth time we've heard it now.
Third or fourth, yeah.
And then he has the good idea of, why am I still holding this thing? And just hucks it out the window, and it blows up these dudes' really sweet car.
It is a really sweet car. It's like a big fucking Cadillac. Yeah, super cherry.
Oh, there's another line in there. It's with Chuck Norris's delivery. It's bad, but it's actually a cool line. When that big dude comes in and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" He's like, you get out of here, or if you come back, I'm gonna give you so many rights you're
gonna
begging
beg
for a left.
Is that
But if he was
right?
like, if I give you I'll give you so many rights you'll be begging for a left. No, so many right.
Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night.
Well, when-
I'll give you a left. Oh, you're gonna beg for a left. What's the line?
I keep having nightmares about that time I didn't kill that guy.
Can we get some of that coke from that first scene? We had a bunch of coke, and I really need like just some.
You know what? That's the problem. These canon movies are fueled by cocaine, and Chuck Norris is not.
No, at all.
So that's the problem. I've
He's-
discovered it and solved it.
He seems like he's fucking dosing himself with chloroform in between takes.
He's a ketamine guy.
Ew, I wish he was that cool.
He was tired from giving Tom Sizemore acting lessons for Firebirds. Or not Firebirds, what was it?
Oh, Harley Davidson.
Harley
Yeah,
Davidson
Harley
and the
Davidson,
Marlboro
Marlboro
Man.
Man.
I
Yeah.
want it back. It means everything to me. And if you don't bring it, I'll kill you. I'll kill you dead.
Well, then we go to this mall, which again was like an abandoned mall, and they filled it with
Tom
people.
Sizemore was fueled by coke.
Not in that scene. or
No,
that
but
movie.
like that's what's funny. He was fueled by
That's
coke.
what I mean. He took acting lessons from Chuck Norris, did that, and everybody was like, "You got to wake up, dude." And he's
Yeah.
like, "I have a plan."
Then he did a canon movie, and he's like, "Oh, I get it." Did he act with Nick Cage at that point? He was
I
like,
don't
"Dude, I'm
know.
gonna do so much coke, I'm gonna run with high knees," and that is from Firebird.
There you go. But we go to this mall, and there's this guy who looks like a cartoon character of a tall guy. That's one of the terrorists.
Whoa, what?
This terrorist with the bag that's beeping.
Uh-huh.
He
Oh,
looks like the cartoon version of a tall guy. He's like weirdly shaped, like Gumby.
Yes.
I just don't get it. Like a tall cartoon.
Like if you
Like if
saw
somebody drew Shaq as a cartoon.
like if you saw a tall guy in a cartoon, like his legs are really long, his body kind of gets narrow,
He's
and then his
just
head,
awkward.
and then he's got like a poofy like eraser head hair going on. So he looks like Gumby. It's kind of like Gumby
Okay.
if somebody
all right.
stretched him a little bit.
First of all, claymation instead of cartoon, my friend.
Well, that wasn't my original anyway.
Ah.
He reminds me of a cartoon I can't think of, and that's why. And it doesn't matter; it's not important. He's got a bag and it's beeping.
Yep.
But it's Christmas time at the mall, so nobody gives a shit because
Nope.
they need to get that fucking Tickle Me Elmo or whatever was cool in the 80s.
I don't know.
What's
Cabbage
that
Patch.
terrifying
His
talking
mom.
bear?
Maybe Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin.
But I think this is
Yeah.
Cabbage Patch time.
All right, it's 1985.
Definitely
I don't know if I
Cabbage
mentioned that.
Oh yeah, this is Cabbage Patch killing.
This guy takes his package in and he stops near the only caring person in the entire mall because he leaves the package behind. And this dude's like, excuse me,
Oh,
sir.
the wife
Could have
notices
left it
it.
Yeah,
anywhere
but-
else. Yeah, the wife notices. But Whitney, if you were to tap Derek and be like, "Hey, that guy left his bag," Derek would be like, "Hey, Mister, well, he's too far."
Yep.
I wouldn't pick it up. And even if I did pick it up and go, hey, you forgot your bag. First of all, beeping, putting it down, leaving. Second of all,
Dude's running away from you.
that guy who was running from you, if I picked it up, I was like, hey, you forgot your bag, and he started running, I'd be like, that looks like it's probably the correct idea. Set it down and run the opposite direction.
Honey, start the car. Roll
This
up.
guy's running from his own package. So
We should too.
Get
We
out.
should
Don't say
too.
anything. Just walk away. Leave briskly. Just walk away.
But there's some terrorists there waiting, and they open fire because now a cop's chasing this guy too, presumably just because he's running through the mall and he looks
Yeah.
like a cartoon
Well, he went
character.
behind. He went behind the North Pole. You're not supposed to go behind North Pole. You can't see behind the scenes. That's against mall law.
This mall cop sees this guy running, and he's like, "Hey, that guy got out of Toontown. Get back here. I've got some dip for you."
Hey, tall guy cartoon.
It's like if Ryan Stiles was a cartoon character.
There we go. Now you described him perfectly.
But yeah, so that explodes because it's a bomb, obviously, and then
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 other bombs go off. So these guys are they're planting bombs. This is where Tomas was supposed to be, and of course Chuck Norris shows up in the nick of time in his big black truck, his BBT.
This is like a.
It's
I
not
want
that
to.
big.
I want to guess it's a. Oh, it's pretty big. It's a good
It's a
size.
pretty big fucking truck.
Yeah, it's definitely not a.
It's a single cab. It's not even an extended
but it's got a
cab.
good- it's
Sure,
got
I'm
a
not
good
talking about the
lift.
size of the cab. I'm talking about the truck. The
It's
truck
lifted.
I would say it's a
But yes.
76 GMC
Big truck.
step side, but she's got a lift. It's a big truck for being street legal. I like it,
Mm.
but I think I'd rather have this Nissan.
Well, Chuck Norris would never be caught dead driving a
Oh
Nissan.
God,
It's-
no.
Especially
not
Matt
American.
Hunter.
Yeah, Matt Hunter.
He's driving those reporters' Mustang.
Well, he
Yeah,
will be.
Of course he is. He's like, I'll take that. It's a Mustang. It's fine. I could think she wasn't driving
Dude,
one of them
coming up,
Japanese cars.
Oh, thank God it's a Mustang. Oh, I didn't want to have to chase him down on foot. I saw that Datsun over there, and I thought, oh,
Shit.
God, no.
She has a Corolla. I'm gonna start running.
Do you have a Japanese car? No. It's German. I'm kind of okay with that.
Oh God, it's dasado.
I mean,
But yeah,
they got us to the moon. But this at one point in this giant fucking swath of action scene, there's the smartest security guard in the world. You see one of these mall cops pull up in one of those little 3-wheel golf carts.
Yeah.
See these trucks chasing each other with guns. It's all nope, and just U-turn
Yeah.
right back home.
We both laughed out loud at that. Like he
Yes.
pulls up and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good."
That was
You
a
can
laugh out
see it
loud.
in the background too of the
Uh-huh.
original shot before they even like focus on him. He's just like,
But I do want to say what we will about Chuck Norris, right? Because he's not a good actor. He did almost all of his own stunts for this movie, including when he's hanging off the side of this Nissan,
Oh yeah,
driving through this mall, driving through kiosks, driving through the front doors. That was Chuck Norris the whole time.
the fight scenes. He's good with the fighting. He's good with the stunts. He's good with the
Yeah.
shooting.
he's not
bad
good with
talking.
delivering lines.
He's
Yeah,
bad with talk.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is not a good actor. His movies are more entertaining because he can like put inflection on his voice.
He goes in full.
Yeah.
Chuck is like, you know what it is?
Daddy?
Chuck is very scared to be vulnerable. That's why he is this reserved. Jean-Claude Van Damme he's like, I can't be vulnerable. I'm fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm superhuman.
Well, Joseph Zito was saying, and I didn't know this, or maybe I didn't, just forgot, but Chuck Norris was like a military man.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got that like stoic attitude of like, I don't know what rank or what department he was in or any of that.
What branch?
Branch, there you go. But he's got that stoic attitude, and that's kind of what comes across as he's just like, we don't show emotion, like old military, not like
A good
Yeah.
soldier follows orders.
exactly.
You'll get there when we
But
watch
yeah.
Bad Batch cartoon.
They have this shootout. They steal this truck. And when they're driving away, there's these two girls that are like, "Hey, motherfucker, you hit my car." He picks this girl up by her hair and just drives away.
Yep.
This is
This
is car pranks that I love.
I was just like, oh my God.
And it reminded me of this movie that I should have you guys watch. It's harder. We haven't done it yet, but I imagine it would be harder to do like foreign language films on here. We'll find out because with Schlock and Load, we're going to be doing some like Cynthia Rothrock and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's Hong Kong. But there's this movie called Fatal Termination, and it has, you could find the scene on YouTube. I think it has the most insane stunt I've ever seen. There's this guy holding this little girl like by her hair out of this car with the door open, and he's just flying down the street, and like she's really there. She's hanging out, and that's what it reminded me of. And it's terrifying. This girl is inches off the ground.
I
as
mean,
this car is speeding through.
This is already pretty ballsy. What you're talking about is ludicrous.
Yeah, well, Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't have rules over there.
I mean,
but-
they filmed the Milo and Otis.
This girl is hanging out this window, so they're trying to catch up to him. Chuck Norris gets McGuire to reach over and save her eventually, but it's a lot of cool action. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
But with I love that the terrorist pulls a pin on this grenade, and then Chuck Norris hits the car, and the guy drops it, and they're like,
Oopsie.
"Oh fuck!"
Get it.
And no, it fucking crashes into a line of cars at like a dealership, and like the truck goes up, and then it's like Dark Angel. It's like
Yep.
car out, boom, 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 boom.
I'm grinning from ear to ear. I'm just like, at this point in my notes, it just says, this is a fucking awesome movie. Like, stop taking notes and just watch this action.
We do have that moment of Rostov getting a hold of Tomas and asking him, hey, you were supposed to be there. You weren't. Chuck Norris was. So that tells me that you told him,
Yep.
Then he
I
shoots him
didn't
in the
tell
dick.
anything.
yeah, well, we get one more time. He's like, did he say anything to you? And he's like, yeah. He said it's time to die. And he spits in Richard Lynch's face. So he shoots him in the fucking dick 3 times.
He just
So
thought
how
his
many
face
dick
looked really
shots have we had
dry.
now? 3?
No, because this is 3 right here, and then you
Yeah,
got
this
3
is-
on. There'll be like 6.
Like total dick shots or
Yeah.
individual dicks?
6 dick
Like
shots to
individual
people.
dicks. It's like 3
so
different people.
I think it's only been 2 people.
Are you sure?
There might have been another one. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
But there's been at least a clip unloaded into dicks.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta reload. I can still see some penis in there.
Oh, come on, Butters. You want to be a nation of dick shooters? Now we find out there's like vigilantes policing the streets. The National Guard has been mobilized.
Which, dude, I'm sorry. I don't think it'd be National Guard. I think they would send the fucking full-on military. Like, we'd be martial law with the amount of things that have been going on that we can't stop.
Well, they actually do mention that very quickly. They have this meeting happening that seems like a terrible idea. Turns out it is a terrible idea, but they Chuck Norris solved it. But the governors of all 50 states and all the high-ranking military personnel are having a meeting in one building while terrorist actions are going on.
All right, Operation All of Our Eggs in One Basket. We'll start with a meeting.
But the news people mention it's one of those background things because they're going through all these news stations. They're there to talk about what's going on and to try to halt the dissolution of constitutional rights and da. So I think they're trying to prevent full-on martial law is what the politicians are doing. The military is just like, let's do it. So because martial law hasn't been enacted yet, it's the National Guard. The next step would be full-on military
Occupation.
But Chuck Norris gets stopped by some quote-unquote National Guard guys.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so you see an Asian guy, that's fine. This is America. There's people of all races and creeds. But when he pulls up to ask him for his ID, English is not this guy's first language, which also could make him American. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
But not in a 1985 canon film starring Chuck Norris.
No way.
So they have a little shootout, and like the Asian dude's laying on the ground, and there's this other red-bearded gentleman laying next to him. They've all been
He's
shot.
Ginger Stern.
What a delightful way to describe my people.
Well, we've already got one. He's the star, so we got to make sure people know it's another one. But he asked this first guy, "Hey, you feel like talking?" And the guy just cusses him out in whatever language he's speaking, and he's like, it doesn't just shoot him with the Uzi. He like cuts him in half with the Uzi. He like makes a line across his body, and he's like, "I didn't think so."
You want to talk? You want to see a magic trick?
I like the cops like flying around, or the National Guard, whoever, like, stay off the streets. They are not safe. And like this family is trying to go to this church, and they're hiding from the helicopters because they don't want to get arrested. It's like, I'm pretty sure people could go to their church, right?
If there's a curfew, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get inside, buddy.
We were outside and the curfew happened. The curfew was 2 hours ago. Yeah, we were really far outside.
Whatever God you pray to doesn't care where you are.
Well, I know which ones these guys pray to. I know which God these people pray to, because this is a Catholic church.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got that priest up there like, and he loved us, he told us. And I'm not going to auto-tune it because priests don't do that.
No, that was perfect. You could be a pastor.
They talk.
You don't like little boys enough,
Priest?
but...
They talk in like a harmony when they sing those songs. Ave Maria.
And so I said unto my son to go home.
Yeah,
it
exactly
was
like
getting late.
Nope.
To get
Nope.
Uber.
You did it wrong. You said it was getting. You did like you did some tonage there.
I can't not.
Priests are just flat. We must go home. Dude, I fucking every time I was in.
No, I didn't go to a Catholic church.
Every time I was in
Lucky.
church, and they're sitting up there doing their Ame Done Rama. I'm just sitting there like, don't laugh, you're in church. Don't laugh, you're in church. Don't.
I might have told this. I do. My grandma passed away a while ago, and I hadn't been to church before her funeral. I hadn't been to church in fucking decade plus. And I almost laughed at her funeral because the words to the prayers are so fucking demeaning that my life made so much sense. Like, it's just like, we are unworthy of your love and we shall never be worthy of anything until you tell us that we are one with ourselves and you will accept us for who we aren't.
Oh my God.
Like, it's all these
Oh my
ridiculous prayers, and all of my family is doing the same, like, whip yourself kind of like tone where it's like,
Dude,
we love God. God is good. My
you
God.
just gave me such hard flashbacks because there's that one song that they do all the time. It's like, and he said unto us that we do that. And like say that fast delivery. I just had like the hardcore flashbacks to being so fucking bored. and wishing as a
I'm
12-year-old
so
that I
sorry,
had
guys.
discovered marijuana at this point.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
Like listening to these prayers about how we're all unworthy until God tells us otherwise. I'm like, my life makes my pain makes so much sense right now.
that's terrible.
Yeah,
Why
it's
does
not too
anybody
bad.
choose
Church.
that?
It made me, gave me good coping mechanisms.
I went to a loving church.
Alcohol and humor.
Yeah, but now we got Jack on the podcast, so thank you, Catholicism.
What if I was normal? Maybe I wouldn't be funny.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I thought you were gonna say I'm not funny. I was like, oh no, here it comes. This is gonna sting.
But I do like these guys are like, they're like, we're gonna blow up this church, right? And we get another Voorhees moment because he tries to set it off, it doesn't go off. Here's Chuck Norris on the rooftop. Didn't work. It will now. Throws it down on him. Boom.
Zap.
It's a good time.
It's fun despite him. Not because of him, but it is. I did wonder, like, of course, I would love to see Arnold Schwarzenegger do this movie, but anybody that would zing.
Dude, his lines would be so much better.
Like, I mean, you said Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got anybody, Whitney? Like, who? Like, anybody besides Chucky
Even
Norris?
Seagal would be better
Barely, but yes, she is right. She is right.
Speaking of Seagal and Van Damme, we all know Chuck Norris is a martial arts guy, and he only kicks twice in this movie.
Yeah,
But it's because in that interview I watched with Joseph Zito, he was like, I don't know martial arts. I know guns.
Okay.
So I had him do guns.
Oh.
So
well, luckily one of the kicks made me laugh really hard. So
there's this thing with the stores are limiting food and stuff, and people are getting really mad, and that would definitely not happen, right?
no
I mean,
way. There wouldn't be anything to do with people not caring about other humans at stores and food.
Yeah, the guy from the store is like, guys, there's a limit on toilet paper.
What the fuck? What do you mean 12 items?
Turns out we're out of toilet paper.
By the way, he said you can get 12 canned items per person.
Yeah.
So you go in, you give your kid $20, your other kid $20, and your spouse $20. Now you've got 48 items.
Yep.
Done.
Until
That's
they're
per
out.
day. That's per day. Come back tomorrow. Yeah, well, you'll be stockpiled, and then you'll be the target of the neighborhood.
We'll be stockpiled guns and ammo.
But like this fake National Guard shows up, they're gonna kill all these people, but of course Chuck Norris is there to save them.
Yep.
And I only want to talk about this scene because Nico is there. He takes McGuire hostage, and he's like, "Hunter, come out, Hunter!" And fucking
What does she yell? Like, she's like, "Do something, cowboy!"
yeah. And of course, Jason Voorhees is up right behind Nico.
Dude, this scene is
grabs
awesome.
this gun out of his fucking hand, or not out of his hand. He grabs his hand, as you can see in this photograph, turns it towards Nico's head, and makes him blow his own fucking brains out.
Amazing.
It is fucking cool. And the stoicness in this scene makes it perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually works really well right there because it's a Voorheesable moment.
Yeah. That was really good. And then we have these people, the people who are going to the church, sending their kids out. They're like, all the kids are going on a school bus out to the country where it's safe. And I'm like, cool, terrorist with bomb? Yes, terrorist with bomb. And
You knew it was going to happen,
this
right?
bus driver is fucking clueless.
Oh yeah,
Because
Yeah.
these terrorists speed up next to this bus, slap this bomb on the side. Then Chuck Norris shows up, speeds up next to the bus, and tries 3 times and finally takes the bomb off. This bus driver is just like,
Doop, doop, doop.
this is driving.
He's doing the...
just sit down.
No, what is it? Row, row, row your boat.
No, dude, this is.
Down
I
the
swear to God,
street.
this is a drunken Chris Farley. No yelling on the bus. I'll turn the bus
This
around and
fucking
injure
wheel.
precious filter.
I was jerking into a fucking bridge embankment.
The bridge embankment's from Tommy Boy.
Oh, okay.
Because when he
Hey, you
grabs
know-
his hair, jerk the wheel.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same voice.
It
That's
is,
why I
it
got
is.
it mixed up in my head. He's like,
I tried to make
oh,
myself.
he's talking about driving it off a cliff
Uh-huh.
in Billy Madison.
I was trying to make
Yeah.
myself red like he does, but nobody made themselves red like Chris Farley.
No, he was good at it, man.
He was
I
the
can, but it
king.
gives me a headache.
Don't do
You
that.
turned pretty red right now.
Thank you.
But he does grab the bomb and drives up next to the terrorists, and there's like, 2 seconds left, and he's like, "Hey, lose this, Huck."
Dude, okay. Did you see the timer, what it was set at?
That timer was going so
192
It was
fucking
whatever
fast.
these units
192
are.
quick seconds. I don't really understand
like-
it.
How fast can you count? 1,
Wait.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Whitney was like,
It was
"That's
on
a
little
fast
kid
timer."
time.
Whitney said, "That's a fast timer." I said, "That's because it's in Russian seconds."
Get it? Russian.
Yeah.
Russian.
yeah. It's Russian and European. European.
You got any Russian music over there, Paul?
No, Dave. No Russian music. No, you deserve to get blowed up. You should have put this timer on, like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Put it on, blow it up.
Yeah, this explosion isn't that big.
I'm not trying to help you kill kids, but I'm just saying you had a job.
It's big enough to take out one car or one bus.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to get a mile away before it goes off.
Right.
Like, you should have set it for a much shorter time. But of course the kids can't die. The kids in this next scene are dead, but we don't see it happen.
You can't show it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Because it's Chuck Norris at the carnival we were talking about. And he's like, for every one I kill, 100 succeed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was nodding off there.
That was me emoting. Oh man, this is a tough scene to get through. I'm sad. Yeah, sad. Yeah,
Very sad.
Chuck Norris gets arrested by the FBI while watching Earth versus the Flying Saucers. By the way,
Well, he does talk to dude and is like, this plan is never going to work. Do you know how many wheels that we have to spin?
Yeah. But I told Whitney, the movie that he's watching is almost the movie I had us do for our final Durka Classic Movies, because it's another Harryhausen flick.
Oh, man. Let me read you my notes. It just says, oh, great. Some dumb movie Derek will make us watch.
Wow.
It's a good movie.
Just as soon as I saw it, and I didn't know it was Ray Harryhausen, but I saw stop motion fucking UFOs, and I was just like, yep. If Derek doesn't know what this is and doesn't have it on Blu-ray, he soon will, and me and Whitney are gonna have to fucking watch it. It's gonna have some awful noise that we just hate.
Did you see them blow up the Capitol building with that UFO? It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway. Chuck Norris gets arrested. Rostov sees it on TV, and it's like, oh, we're taking him to this place where we have all the governors and all the high-ranking military. And he's like, perfect. I was like, going there anyway.
He's like, send everybody there.
I do like when these news people are interviewing him, because they would have cut. Because it's like, do you have anything to say to the people watching? And he's like, Nico was easy. Now it's your turn. Something.
Now
when you open your eyes, I'll be waiting, and it'll be time to die.
It's your time to die.
He's like, one night you're just gonna close your eyes, and when you open them, I'll be there, and you'll know it's time to die. But he doesn't say it that cool. Like, if you, because they introduce him as a vigilante that has killed suspected terrorists and yada yada. But then when he looks into the camera, he could be talking to the American people. You're next.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. Is like, they're like, do you have anything to say to the people watching? He's like, yeah, you're next.
He just goes full Lance Henriksen. I'm gonna fuck you, then I'm gonna eat you.
I'm gonna skin you with a knife dipped in shit.
Oh, you want Lance Henriksen as this guy? I do.
As Chucky or
as Hunter?
Yeah, as Chuck Norris.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that would be really cool. The terrorists go and rob this armored car garage, and it's really funny. Because you have these guys, it's like they're peaceful, like day in, day out work. You know, this guy's working on the thing. These guards are standing guard. But this thing explodes, and the dude sitting at this desk is fucking rocked.
He gets shot to Bolivia.
Oh, that was fantastic.
And they go and assault this governor's mansion, whatever the fuck this building is.
Yeah, sure.
And, you know, they can get through because bullets can't get through an armored car. Tank bullets can, we find out.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they're called bullets, but
no.
You know, shells.
We can call them rounds.
All right. Whitney noticed, and I saw it, but she called it out. When these guys behind the armored trucks that are in this like people truck.
Yeah, it's like the open top, like, I don't know, deuce and a quarter.
Yeah, like the truck they had Paul Walker's dinosaur in Tammy and the T-Rex.
That might have been a dumb truck. I'm not sure.
Because it had like the wood slats on the side.
Yeah.
But when they're turning one of the corners and they go over a bump, there's a dude that straight up flies out of that truck.
I didn't catch that. I'll be right back.
The guy that was right behind him is holding on. He's like, oh, shit.
Dude, it's a Canon film. Filming gets wild, y'all.
No take two. Sorry, guys.
You might not work for us ever again because you're dead.
sure, we made this $12 million,
but we left it in the movie.
We've
because you got hurt.
already used most of those explosions because, or most of the $12 million because explosions.
Dude, so many explosions. We aren't even talking about the explosions that much because I want you to watch it.
Yes.
They go in and attack the building and find out it's empty, and it's when Rostov realizes it's a trap.
Yeah.
Which he says in Russian, which apparently babushka is Russian for trap.
Oh, I thought he said mamushka, and it's the dance they do in Adam's Family. The mamushka.
Because he was like something babushka is what I heard, and I was like,
maybe it was the dude's name, and the dude was like, "I told you so."
But dude, whatever language it is, it doesn't matter what language it is. I told you so never sounds cool. I told you so. Like he says all spurgen durkin, flugen talking.
I just spit on the
they
mic.
get basically all these people leave they run out of the building, and there's the National Guard, and we have a small scale war.
And I don't want to complain about it because I really like the action, but I just want to say I'm American, and these terrorists just fucked us up on our own soil a whole bunch. I want these guys to shell them coming right out.
Yeah.
Like as soon as that door opens, I want one of these tanks just to hit them. Be like, all right, cool, we're good. Don't fuck with America.
Don't fuck with Jesus.
Nobody fucks with the America.
Whitney had a good point because Chuck Norris is inside searching for Rostov. It is dead silent inside. So even though we see people flying through walls and bullets and stuff inside the building, like we see them the walls get shot, and they're made of plywood. You can't hear a fucking peep from this war happening outside.
Easy answer. This is like the governor's mansion or office, right? They don't want to hear the screams of the poor when things really go downhill.
Is it the same office from Latchkey Vids?
It's all soundproof. It's all soundproof. You could fire a gun in there at some fucking animatronic version of the mayor.
Well, the indoor walls are all plywood.
Right.
That's because they spent all the money making the outside soundproof.
Exactly. This is a purge room. They could hit a button and fucking shutters just...
Well, then we have Rostov and Norris facing off against each other. Kind of. It's a little bit of a fight. Chuck Norris does give this dude a roundhouse kick to the face.
Oh, shit. The kick. We had to go back just before this when Chuck Norris is first starting to like stalk this office way. There's a guy that's like looking around for him, and Chuck Norris kicks him from off screen. Like the guy just looks in this direction forever, and all of a sudden just a foot comes up and boom, kicks him. Like, it's such a cartoony thing, and I wasn't expecting it.
I missed that one.
Oh, I do also like when he shoots those other two guys that are hiding behind the door because he knows they're there. And one of them looks like Jim Belushi. And they both just get blown away. That's pretty fucking cool.
Dude, there's some fucking killer action right here. I mean, it hasn't stopped pretty much since he got activated. It is just fucking go time, kill time.
Yeah.
America wins outside. And inside, we still have Norris is hiding again. Rostov's looking for him.
Rostov's got a bazooka.
Yeah, he's playing the deadliest game of hide and seek that's ever happened.
It's high my stakes. Line. This is high stakes. Nice.
Ollie, ollie, oxen free.
Fish out of water. I know it's a different game. I thought of me playing like Halo 1 or 2 with a rocket launcher, and somebody jumps around a corner like, oh, it scares you and you kill both of you. That's what's going to happen right here in my mind. Like, yeah, you got him. You got you too.
We get the final scene and the final Voorhees moment. Because Richard Lynch is walking down this hallway, looking indoors, and you see Chuck Norris come out behind him silently, and he opens up his fucking rocket launcher, and that's what calls his attention. And this I have a clip for. And it's in slow motion, kind of, and I slowed down a couple parts. Like, I slowed down the whole thing, and I slowed down some important parts. So here we go.
Ooh.
Chuck Norris.
He hip fires that bitch.
There's a dummy that gets exploded. Now here, coming out the window, a bucket of blood.
Where's the bucket of blood?
There was a blood spray at the beginning.
Okay.
A whole leg.
There's the leg.
And then the bottom left, there's the head of the dummy just tumbling out of this window.
I strangely want ham with all that meat flying out that window.
Can you replay that?
Oh, I absolutely can. So
it would be my pleasure.
This is definitely just a Richard Lynch dummy that they put an explosive inside of at the beginning of this, okay?
Okay.
Because I slowed it down more here. It's just a dummy that explodes. and then just
The big
there,
old
right
blood
there, the
spray on
blood.
the right.
Oh,
Oh man, there's
Wow.
the dummy head.
Oh, there's an arm in the center. That's
You get a wing over
fantastic.
there I
That-
could steal from your plate? I'd love a wing.
and like there's that flaming view of the window. I think we see Chuck Norris, and then credits.
Finn. It's done, dude.
That's how you end a fucking movie.
It's an hour 47, which like when I first put it on, it's like, it's a titch too long for these kinds of movies. No, it's not, because we fucking get to it and we stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, they kill those people at the beginning, but then it's probably 20, maybe 30 minutes of like story setup, like getting Chuck Norris involved and stuff, which still involves
less than
action.
that, really.
It did.
And yeah, maybe 20 minutes, and that includes
The
attacking Chuck
reporter.
Norris's house.
Yeah.
And then it's just action scene after action scene after action scene
Yeah.
throughout this whole movie. And they
Oh,
just
yeah.
intersperse just enough dialogue to tell you how things are progressing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we still don't know like the terrorist end game, and that's fine. Like their end game was just to disrupt America. It wasn't like, hey, let's take over America and we can maybe make money off of this and this. No, let's
Let's knock them down a peg or two.
just hurt them. That's all. That's all we're doing.
Oh, I do want to mention Chuck Norris doesn't finish his line before he blows up Rostov, because he's been saying this whole movie, "It's time to die. It's time to die." He just says, "It's time," and then blows this dude away.
I kind of like it though, because like it's time to
No,
die.
it's cool.
Time to die. It's time. It's just he doesn't put an inflection on it.
Do you know what time it is?
Huh?
Hey.
Hey, check your watch. What's it say? Does it say it's time? It's time. It's time
What
to die.
time is it?
It's time
So-
to die.
So we'll do recommendations.
All right,
We'll
Jack,
start
you
with
go
Jack.
first.
Yeah, I love this fucking movie, dude. I will be getting this on. Is there a beautiful 4K of this? Because
There is a beautiful 4K of this available from Vinegar Syndrome right here.
I should probably own that. This is such a good movie that does not need my caveats, will benefit from them. It will also make for a great put it on and put music over it, because you are just going to have bodies flying across the screen no matter what you're listening to. So yeah, full recommend.
Especially if you're listening to Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
The bodies hit the
Or
Yeah.
Dead Bodies Everywhere by Korn.
Ooh, I could dig either of those. So yeah, full recommend. I don't need anything to make me watch it except for time.
Yeah, obviously full recommend. This movie is fucking awesome. And like after we did Missing in Action, I remember all of us were like, oh, I don't know if we're ever going to do any more Chuck Norris movies. But I got this with my subscription to Vinegar Syndrome. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have picked it up because Chuck
Yeah.
Norris.
Thank God you did,
And,
man.
Dude,
Lowercase G.
this is fucking bonkers. So yes, full recommend. Explodey Splody. Wife.
My hair looks great right now.
It does.
So you know how much I hated MIA, right? Missing in
Yeah.
Action. I fucking hated it. This is my favorite Chucky Norris film.
Yay! Let's golf clap for this movie.
She's still not going to recommend it.
1 star.
By far his best movie. Don't
Worst
watch
film
it.
ever, 1 star. No, it kept me captivated. It kept me in it. A lot of humorous bada booms, body parts flying.
Dummies.
I mean, I swear in that last scene that Chuck had, he's got blood, like a cut above his right eyebrow, and there's drips of blood on his shirt. I think he actually got cut because it's like perfect, just a little drop, little drop.
Oh, that's other people's
there's-
blood. He didn't bleed this movie.
Well, he's bleeding right here.
He's like Slim Diesel.
So I do give this a recommend. The caveats do help. It will make it better. Just sitting there talking shit with your friends.
This might be a movie that you put on during Barley Fest, and just fucking
1,000%.
have on and enjoy it.
Yeah.
1,000% put that on. So it's a full recommend all the way across the board.
Ooh, ooh.
Whoop whoop. How'd you guys thinking though, didn't I?
I mean, I was wondering because you don't like some of the best movies that ever existed.
Miami,
Miami
Connection
Connection.
fucking sucks.
Miami Connection doesn't suck.
It
You
doesn't.
suck.
Yeah, I'm not normally into like shaming people and liking stuff, but come off it.
Make me watch it 4 more times, maybe.
If you
Stockholm.
didn't love it the first time, you might not ever.
But next week we have a guest, and we continue our journey in Joseph Zito Town because we're going to have Zip back on the podcast,
Whoop,
and we're going
whoop.
to be talking about The Prowler, which is
Ooh.
also directed by Joseph Zito.
Noise.
Damn.
And is mostly like a special effects reel. It's not really a movie, but it's a good time. From
I'm
what I
excited to
remember.
have Zip back. I heart his face.
Oh, that's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to see him tomorrow.
gonna be a fun time.
And for those who want to watch The Prowler before we talk about it, it's available on Prime, Shudder, a streaming service called Night Flight that I think is like for horror movies, or you can rent it on Amazon or Apple for $4 or buy it for $10.
We'll see about that.
So it's out there. And of course, we have our Patreon at patreon.com/worstpeople. It's only $3 a month. And you get a bonus mental health episode plus a bonus Latchkey Vids episode. The mental health episode for this month is Major League because RIB, Rest in Baseball.
Rest in baseball.
Bob
It
Uecker.
works, dude. Yeah. Just a bit outside.
Yes, Bob Uecker. So we're going to be talking about Major League. The Cop Rock episode for this month is 3 Corpse Meal, also known as the Baby Merchant episode.
Baby merchant.
So strap in and strap on.
You don't have to strap it on.
And I want to mention we have a new web store for our merch. So you don't have to go to TeePublic and find us or do whatever. You can just type in shop.badmoviesworstpeople.com
Oh, nice.
and get our merch. When I post this episode, I will be starting a sale because this is the first time I talked about it because I kind of control the pricing now. It's still, I have a window, but I'll be starting a sale. So t-shirts will be starting at $13 for the next week after this episode comes out. So go check it out. Shop.badmoviesworstpeople.com.
Now, can you get more than shirts?
Oh, there's shirts, hats, mugs, jackets, tote bags, pillows, cell phone cases.
What about
Chokers, ball
onesies?
gags.
There are onesies. You can get a onesie for your baby.
Yeah.
It says assholes right on it, so that's nice.
Love it.
But yeah,
What
you
are
can
we
get all that
doing
stuff.
here?
And I mean, some of the stuff, I believe, when I put it on sale, the coffee mugs and some of the other stuff gets real cheap. I want to say like maybe $5 or something
Real
like that. I'm not
fucking
100% sure,
Nice.
but it gets cheap. So check that out. Shop.badmoviesworstpeople.com. And of course, we have to thank Evasion for our opening and closing music. I've been Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
It's time to die.